Hey, beautiful souls. Welcome in and welcome back. We are at the park playing the first full day of summer break post Reiki session. So I just wanted to share a little bit. And yes, please call upon your beautiful light community, light workers, energy practitioners, because we are here to support each other. So I have a couple I specifically connect with that has helped me through this journey process, and I was called yesterday to schedule an appointment because I always listen to my intuition, my guidance for the most part. And if I don't, within a few days, it gets louder and louder and louder, whether it's in the field, energetically, mentally, emotionally. If I need extra support from my beautiful soul family, I will reach out for that. So that's what happened. So she was available first thing this morning, and we tapped in and just did a quick power session is what I call it. I asked my team to get as much done as we could in a short period of time because the kid was at home enjoying his quiet time, as a big boy. And a lot came up, and it's not a surprise because I've shared with you, beautiful souls, what's taken place in these past couple of weeks. A lot of downloads, a lot of information coming through in the field, in my psychic abilities upgrading, receiving 2 massive downloads about my partner the other day, last week, and then the soul integration, the soul at large, light body aspect, soul return, the power surge that took place the other day. And it wasn't a surprise when we got out of session that the team had said that this particular everything that's taking place to help with integration is my nervous system. So this is why they don't give you everything that you think you want. This is why your team, I had to pause for a second, this is why your team doesn't give you everything your human thinks it can handle. I have had many in the past 2 to 3 years, and especially in this past 18 months to 12 months, many cleansing, clearing, activations, downloads, upgrades, rinse and repeat, integration, recalibration, stabilization, synchronization. And this was another big one. I knew that. I knew that it happened when it happened, and then what happened 2 days ago. There was no coincidence when she was saying your nervous system is a little, needing a little TLC. Basically, the nervous system is a little frazzled. That's the best word I can think of right now. Frazzled. And it made complete sense. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I kind of went back. I'm like, she goes, no, it's not from anything. It's what took place recently. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay, so got that information. Again, I was asking for direction on this tension, this muscle spasm that took place on Friday, and then this hip issue that I've been dealing with on and off for a long time. So on top of the nervous system needing recalibration because it's on hyperdrive, it's basically needing to come back into more of a stabilizing thing. It's a little it's frazzled. I've received a lot, y'all. And I'm sharing this because I think some of you might have experienced this too. All right, so B12 might be beneficial. I've been getting all signs and synchronicities of needing more B12. And actually, which is hilarious, is because B12 is very helpful for nervous system. And if you're really low on B12, or if you go through, like I did, this massive upgrade, you have to remember your vitamins and your minerals your supplements might need to go up because your body's requiring more of them. And I didn't think about this. I didn't make this connection, and now it's all kind of connecting the dots. I've been getting kind of extra signs and synchronicities of getting more B12. And actually, when we pulled into the park, the license plate said B12. You can't make this shit up. I always ask my team to give me the signs and synchronicities and symbolism in ways that's in resonance for me, if I'm really meant to. And it's usually in supplements is no different. They license plate was fun though. So nervous system regulation, cold showers, back of the neck, that was specific. I don't recommend long plunges unless you're really called to, but cold showers, or like after take a hot bath, cold shower on the back of the neck will help with the nervous system. For me, this is my information. Take what resonates. If this feels like something that might help you, if you feel like a little frazzled in your nervous system, with all these upgrades that everyone's receiving in their own unique way, confirmation someone's making that connection somehow, some way. So maybe B12, upping the magnesium. I've been upping my magnesium glycinate and my magnesium citrate because that will help with nervous system. Again, you burn through so much more, and when you're getting upgraded, your body's going to need more minerals, more salt, more hydration, more grounding, all right, to help re-regulate the nervous system. Like I said, I've been spending the majority, if not all this time, re-regulating and healing and recalibrating the nervous system. Right? So once you get into balance and you're ready to receive more, you receive more. But it was a big one. And again, your team will not give you anything that you cannot handle. But it's good to know that, like, what other tools can help. Cold showers in the back of the neck. Of course, Epsom salt baths. Lots of grounding, lots of nourishment, hydration. B12 came through for me personally afterwards. Also the sprain in the back was more to do with a trauma from the age 7. Again, no surprise. Like I said, lots and lots of abuse, SA abuse, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual abuse, but a lot of SA abuse at age 7. So what can happen is, yes, you do the healing layers, but things are buried. So the best way is, like, remember, you got sediment, layers and layers and layers, and it's like peeling an onion. But I like to use earth-based stuff too. So imagine you've done a lot of healing work with the inner child, and there's been something that was really big. It was in a deeper layer of the subconscious that was just not ready to be released. This was connected to the ready of, and what happened is this aspect coming in basically shook the dirt around, or shook the ground for this trauma to come to the surface, aka just literally stepping off my porch, literally taking a step, locked up all of those muscles, because that trauma and that emotion came up in my mid-back, what is that? That's the heart chakra, that's the thymus, that's the throat chakra. It's all that mid-back, solar plexus, heart chakra, that whole chakra system. Okay, so whatever trauma was ready to be released got shook up when this aspect came through, got shook up to be released. And sometimes you need a little extra assistance. Reiki's a great practice. You know, intuitive massage might be good too if the practitioner isn't going too deep, all right? So basically this trauma was ready to be released. So that was released. So that was fascinating. The hip, she couldn't remember specifically what that was associated, but she said a lot of energetic, like there's just stagnant, there was things that needed to be released out of the left hip area and leg area, energetic release, like a big release. The other thing that was pretty fascinating is for this soul astro to integrate with ease and grace, there was pride that needed to be released in the liver and spleen. And I thought that was fascinating. I need to look at that more. Right? We keep it real here, so so pride in the spleen and liver that needed to be released energetically before this soul aspect could completely, like, in the nervous system. It was all interconnected. Everything is energetic. Everything's yes, you feel it in the physical, but everything is so energetic, and sometimes there's so much unseen, unknown, and subconscious that our humans can't even understand. You know, when I listened to Ken Lloyd's transmission yesterday with the KDC, I highly recommend that. I'll try to remember to post that video in the comments. Was around pain in the body and the way we look at pain in the body, or recurring pain. Again, it could be underlying trauma that's like it now is ready to be fully released, but it has been buried for years. 7 years old, that's a long time. So I'll be 50 this year. So for 43 years, this trauma has been in my body. Anyways, I wanted to share this with you, and I'd like to share, help those, because the reason I'm guided to share is we're all having the same kind of experience, same but different. We're all experiencing our own ways, in our own timing, in our own journey, but sometimes these tools might be beneficial. The other thing that came up was to stand in salt. Like, I'm very familiar with salt scrubs, salt baths, cold showers, grounding, nourishing, hydrating, minerals, supplements, vitamins, minerals. But this was fascinating because this was the first time the practitioner also had heard of this, that the team brought through, was standing in salt for 20 minutes. And she literally posed, like, arms wide open and exposing yourself to the sun for 20 minutes. Standing in salt. And she muscle tested to see which salt, because there's so many different salts, would be beneficial, because she, in the session, she got pink Himalayan salt. So I asked before I left, she goes, let's muscle test really quick. And she did it. She went through it twice because we thought it was hilarious that there wasn't a specific salt. The team just said whatever salt. So standing in salt, whether it's pink Himalayan salt, Redmond's real salt, Epsom salt, Celtic sea salt, maybe there's you can also get dead salt. Actually, the wellness store has it by the bulk. Or maybe I'll get some of that dead sea salt from the Dead Sea. Okay, that spit it out. That just came through, so maybe I'll go down there and get some of that and stand in that. And I had asked her after the session, I said, have you ever heard of this as part of a nervous system regulation? But it also helps you with purification. It helps full with grounding. So it's multifaceted. It's, help with the grounding. It'll help with the removal of the negative energy. It'll help transmute it. It'll help with the purification. It's also really good for boundaries. That's why people do salt around their rooms or their homes. It's a good for boundaries and protection. Yeah, I think I've hit all of those. But I thought it was fascinating. And we're both like, well, which salt? And the team's like, it doesn't matter which salt. For me, and you can muscle test for which salt might be, 1122 might be beneficial for you. I'm going to go before that gets too loud. But again, I just wanted to share this experience. So if you're being called to get an energetic work done, do it. You can do it from distance. Hands-on is really good for me. But even just like, a lot of people can do Zoom type stuff as well. But if, either way, whatever practitioner works for you. In some practitioners, I don't feel as the same. In some I do. So it's the same thing within resonant frequency. Certain practitioners are really good, but you're just not as in strong of a resonant frequency with them as certain ones. Okay, so we're gonna go because that's getting really, really loud. And please comment, question, leave your questions, leave your comments, and maybe I can help and see where we can move forward together, because I'm talking about this and why I'm called to do this watermelon fast and just rest and nourish and hydrate. But the salts, the standing in the salt was a new one. So maybe we need to just all stand in the salt for 20 minutes, stand in a bed of salt for 20 minutes in the sunshine and see what activates us. I just got that. Like, I see a bunch of people in the big circle standing in salt with our hearts open to the sun, receiving all these beautiful light codes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do a salt challenge too. Let's stand for 20 minutes a day for the next 3 days in salt and expose ourselves to sunlight. Let's have fun. Let's play. Let's create. That's what we're here to do. Love ya. Bye.